¿Qué pasa? ¿Cómo estamos? Felipe Valdivia, Felipe Gigis para compañeros de Spain Eurovision Info. Estoy muy bien acompañado. Aquí está mi compañero Aitor. Vamos a hacerle una entrevista a Misho, uno de los integrantes del grupo Baryak de Montenegro, para el próximo domingo, que va a ser el Montesong, la primera preselección para Eurovisión. Hi, Misho, how are you?
I'm good. Hi, it's nice to meet you guys.
Thank you so much. Well, for people that doesn't recognize you here in Spain, who is Baryak and when did you create the group?
So Baryak is a band that was formed last year around the same time that we had our Montesong competition. And we basically, it's most of us are either friends or family. My older brother is the lead, I guess, producer, and he makes most of the music. Then my younger brother, he is the other main producer, so the two of them make all of our music together. Everything we do in-house, so we make our songs, we compose them, we record them in the studio, all of that. So it's a very fun process, and the rest of us are our friends. We have the drummer, we have the pianist, the keyboard player, the pretty one, and then the other vocal. This year it's a little bit different because both of the girls are singing. But yeah, that's basically us six, and then a slightly larger team of people friends of ours who film, who help us with displays and things like that.
How was the beginning for taking part again this year in the national selection of Montenegro, Montesong? And do you take many more time since last year participation to decision to take part?
Love that song. Love that for Greece. I believe, was it Ukraine? I'm not sure who the Shiriki Dande. It's not. Maybe it's.
When did
Ruslana, I think was that.
Yeah, when dances, 2004.
Okay. Yes. I thought that to me for the time was lovely energy. That was just, and then there was the band. I don't know the name of the band, but I saw their song. I was happy to see the Croatian band that had it was a kind of a Rammstein song. There was like a heavy industrial sound that they did. I don't know their name, but I enjoyed that. Maneskin as well.
Maneskin.
Song, of course. I think there's no way anyone watched Eurovision and didn't like that. I love how I said I don't really know, and then I ended up knowing like 10 different years, because I just remember now the German winner. I thought she had a cute song.
Lena.
Yeah, that was so different. And I remember when I won, I thought it was such a charming song when I first heard it, and I couldn't believe that it won. That other people recognized how like the vibe of everything that she did was just so, I don't know, I loved it. So there you go. I hope that was thorough enough.
Great selection.
Yeah.
So we know that you follow this year Eurovision. What is your opinion of this year contest in Basel?
You mean with all this political stuff that's happening as well, or
if you want to respond,
but if you want to go there. I mean, look, I'm a man of the people. I don't like injustices. I think that there's a lot of stuff, that the bigger countries, I'm honestly, I'm going to say this off the record, just personally, I do think it's a very heavy and important decision to be brought by every country. The fact that you guys made the decision that you did, I respect when people use their platform to make some kind of opinion. Again, this is off the record, just my personal kind of view on these things. It's a complicated time. We live in a very, I think we all kind of went through the 2000s and kind of took them for granted. It was much simpler in a lot of ways. And the last 5 years on a global scale since COVID have just been a very, very difficult time for a lot of stuff. So I think it's even more important for events like these to happen, But at the same time, I think it's more important than ever for countries to take a stand, to have some kind of say, because if we don't have a voice, if we're not allowed to express ourselves, we lost one of the most important pillars of civilization. And like that to me is, each person needs to decide what they're going to do with their voice, but it is definitely important to make it. But the Eurosong is a nice cultural moment, I think, for a lot of unity to happen, and for a lot of there's always an opportunity to say the right things and to try and kind of push the bounds. So I at least am hoping that all of this chaos that's happening brings some important conversations to the forefront, and people understand that most people in the world want peace and serenity, and they don't want people suffering, and that goes for everyone, whichever part of the world they're in, whatever their background is. I think most people have this wish for peace and calm and non-violence, and that's all we should ever fight for, and people shouldn't label that as anything other than we're just fighting for peace and for a calmer kind of return to some better status quo, honestly.
Yeah, we are calling you from Spain. Don't know if you know, but Spain is one of the countries that withdraw from the contest this year. But talking about music, how was last year Eurovision? Musically talking.
Wait, repeat the question.
Yeah, you explain us about politics.
Yes.
But about the music of Basel, what did you like? The song that you more like? Yeah.
The musical level.
Yeah, I think I don't. It was interesting to me, but again, like, I think generally, okay, so it doesn't seem like too charged as a response, but I think the whole process had maybe exhausted me a little bit too much, because again, when there's a lot of people and we're the only people, like the band is the people, we don't have like a huge entourage of people doing stuff for us or this, that. I think I was maybe a little bit too exhausted to give it the time of day at the time. I remember watching and being a little bit not jaded. I didn't mind like whether we went or not, but I think it was just the whole vibe around it kind of like expended my batteries a little bit too much to fully enjoy it. So I was like largely indifferent. I think I didn't necessarily think anything was too crazy or this or that. I like seeing when bounds are being pushed, and I think a lot of years in the past we've seen a lot of that, and maybe last year there wasn't too much. It was a very kind of safe, in my opinion, show, so to speak. So I think this one's already set to be in a lot of ways kind of crazier, but who knows, maybe that leads to something great, maybe not. I don't really know. I'm just happy to kind of pitch in and to add a little bit of the energy and all of that to this year.
Mm-hmm. If you want to collaborate with other artists in Montesong, what is your first contact?
To collaborate with other art, you mean like other musicians and performers?
Yes.
Nobody. I know that I answered it probably in the name of everyone in the band. Yeah, definitely. As of now,
it's no similar or
it's
near to your way in the music.
I will tell you honestly, I think in a lot of ways, to collaborate, we would have to make some kind of concessions, and right now there just isn't the appetite. I think we are pushing in such a different direction to most people. They would need to either adapt fully to us and to the vibe we're going for, which I don't expect, and I don't think that that's totally okay, But on the flip side, I would not want to adapt to currently anything that's on the scene here. I think
different ways in the music.
Yeah, and the stuff that I told you, a lot of, we take a lot of, the one thing we take a lot of pride in as a band is that everything that we do is done from, I'm sitting in my living room here, but this is part of our studio. and then the other studio is in the other living room, basically, where my brother lives. And that kind of like homey attitude and everything we've done so far, so many people told us, you can't do that. That's not how it's done. This is that. And I think it's because we tried to do something different. And that difference, I think, just puts us in a place where we need to keep that its own thing, because I think it has a chance to kind of bring awareness to a lot of other creative people who are maybe not even on the scene, who are maybe doing other things unrelated to music. And for the sake of all of that, I think that the answer is no collaborations until people understand exactly what we're doing. And yeah.
But in the Balkan region, there are many interesting rock musicians, like Albania in Festival Ikenges. Every year appear new musician, rock, and sing interesting scenes, music.
Yeah, I fully support it. I think I love diversity in everything. I love in thinking, in music, and creatively, and all kinds of things. I think it's important to have different tastes and things. So I'm very supportive of everyone who's doing things a little bit differently. But I would still say a collaboration to me is a very intimate process, and you need to be. I think there's maybe like a couple of bands who I would love to collaborate with, but they have nothing to do even with like the Eurovision like scene or anything like that. I think it's just bands that have been heroes to me and who have been very inspiring to me in my life. Who I'd tell you, like, yes, I'd love to collaborate with Rammstein, Tool, or Prodigy. Like those are the bands that I would do something with. And then the rest, as an artist, I believe that the best art in and of itself needs to be tyrannical. As much as I believe in, unity and democracy and all of us having a voice in other aspects of life, I think the best art comes out from, an almost like dictatorial, like this is the way that it needs to be. And, maybe sometimes it isn't good, but it comes from the heart. It doesn't come from 20 hearts, because the moment you do this, it loses that one special edge that you can only have if you have a very, very specific vision and stuff. And that's for any creative person, I think, is an important conversation to have about how much are you willing to change your idea because the rest of the world doesn't maybe understand you, because who knows, maybe they understand you 5 years from now. So it's a personal question to have. And I think for us, especially in this early stage, it's very important to stay the course and to keep exploring what the voice that we currently have before sharing it and before kind of letting it become this thing that everyone can chime in and all these conversations. I think it's incredibly important to keep that.
First, explore your way in the music.
Yes. It's a matter of like integrity, but not in an arrogant way. Like just the integrity of the journey itself. Like that, it's a thing that's happening, and we need to give it its life, because currently we're the only people who can give that journey its spirit. So it's important to be like that.
It's logical.
Yeah. I mean, this is the reason why you ask. It's a good question, because in reality, what you just asked actually applies to the whole process. So, musical collaboration is more complicated to do, but collaborations then happen in terms of even things like the LED display, the costumes, all of that stuff we do. So the costumes, like I have on the background, we're working together and like sewing things and sticking stuff for all of these. So all of this stuff is homemade. Even collaborations on that end, currently finding a costume designer just wouldn't be, like, they just wouldn't understand what we're going for exactly. So it's better to just make those skills and work on them and make them. So in terms of that, we don't really collaborate on any front. We just mostly do stuff ourselves, except for the production of the day. Montesong itself is a collaboration, but that part you need it because it's a platform. But the rest, the creative side of things, everything is done in-house.
Mm-hmm. Well, last year you tried with the cerca, and this year you will try with Minerva. It's a very frequent name here in Spain for girls, for example. What is the meaning of the main message of this song this year?
So we have a little clause, a little thing that we spoke about. I generally, this is and so we come from different backgrounds. You know, music isn't the only thing that we generally do, and we've had some like projects before that we've done, and there is this. It's always tricky when you're answering these questions because there's a moment when you almost like trivialize what the message is, what you're trying to say, right? Because the moment you hear the creator themselves of any kind say what they were trying to say, you're suddenly adding to the thing. You know, it's not like you have an opinion of it. It's suddenly the artist is saying, well, this is what I wanted to say. And I think you always run the risk of boxing in what you made. For someone out there who might have interpreted your work in a certain way, you might add something that is completely unnecessary at the end of the day because it's a song, right? And it kind of like speaks for itself. But I will speak about the title. The title is Minerva, the goddess of, I guess, wisdom, the Roman goddess, and she's based on Athena, the Greek goddess. And the one thing that it wasn't evoking this time, and we were really kind of talking about it. There were a lot of messages, even problems happening locally, but then generally at large, when we're looking at the world, there's a lot of things that are happening, and we didn't really want to write a song that remotely evokes a love song, which is I think for a lot of people hard to emotionally connect to, because the previous one, Dva Srca, had a more emotional, I think, like romantic connotation to it. This one, I think, is a lot more of a, I think, intellectual resistance. I'll put it that, like, speaking broadly to largely all the suffering and things that are happening in the world. So the whole message of dai mi ruku, which means give me your hand. I think that image itself can speak to a lot of different things. So I will help you by simply translating a couple of those things, but I won't tell you exactly, you know, what the goal was and what they mean. But I think anyone can invoke. These are evocative images, I think, that kind of bring to everyone their own image. But what it means to give someone your hand and who the hand is being given to and stuff, I think that's the whole interplay and the beauty of the song. And I think the performance will help bring a little bit more to that. So I will let you guys, you know, infer and bring more knowledge out of the actual performance as well, because the LED displays have their own thing going on. The whole performance and things, I think, will bring more to the conversation without me spoiling anything.
For finishing the interview, we want to send a message for our subscriber, a message for musician in Montenegro for the next Sunday.
For you guys to send, or for me to send a message?
You send a message for us, for the subscribers,
yes,
for your college in the competition.
I will firstly thank you. That's one part of my message I like to have. You guys have been wonderful hosts, and I know sometimes the language barrier can be a little bit difficult, but you guys have done a wonderful job of asking really deep and thoughtful questions. And it's this kind of cultural bridging that I think the world needs a lot more of, you know. And so maybe it might not seem that you're doing, you know, at times maybe it doesn't seem like you're doing a huge thing, but I think you're doing a huge thing. And I would definitely like to thank you for that, and all the viewers that you have, no matter how many of them that you have. I think we are playing a very positive role for this intercultural communication and I think growth that we all should be doing, especially as Europe. I love this part of the world. But for the subscribers and people viewing, I don't know, vote for us 20 times. I don't know. Every person vote for okay, no, I mean, vote for whoever. But I think the more important part of the conversation really is what I said just now is keep watching stuff like this, engage yourselves, share your voice. You know, it's a difficult time, and it's important for all of us, people who have an intellectual capacity to engage with the problems in the world and everything. I think it's very important for us to be active, to show support, go out, enjoy art, be present. It's a very important time to be present in the world, and you do great things by just even going out and supporting some local artists and stuff. So more of that, more unity, more love. The rest we'll figure out, I think. So that's my message, honestly, for all the people you mentioned. But yeah, so yeah, thanks a lot, guys.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
See you next Sunday, and good luck for
Yes.
Montesong.
Also,
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.